Hello and welcome. We have seen the Sensex cross 82,000 and the Nifty cross the 25,000 level in trade today. What really is boosting the market sentiment? Well, to decode all of this, I'm joined by G Chokkalingam, founder Equinomics Research and a senior market expert. I'm also joined by Anant, Ladha, founder of Invest Aaj For Kal. Thank you both for your time. G Chokkalingam, sir, then what really to your mind is boosting the market sentiment? Is it India-US trade talks, the GST rate cuts, the Fed rate cut also expected come tomorrow, or is it all of this and more?
Most important is, the U.S. trade team arriving India to discuss a bilateral trade agreement. That is the biggest trigger because one has to remember that this follows the gesture exchange between two leaders, U.S. and Indian Prime Minister. And that also followed up with a positive statement from the Commerce Minister that expressing confidence that in a couple of months agreement would be in place. Now we are seeing a visible development over this in terms of the trade team arriving in India. And also, yes, the Fed is meeting, but I won't give too much importance to possible rate cut by the Fed because at best it is likely to be 25 BPS basis point cut, which is most likely to happen tonight. But that may not boost the market because Indian market needs a cumulative cut of more than 50 to 100 basis point to have any meaningful influence on the US investors to consider, Indian capital market. Yes, positive, but that is not the primary reason. The primary reason is, a lot of positive developments on US-India trade front.
Right, Anand, do you agree? What really is boosting the market sentiment? Your first thoughts.
Firstly, thank you so much for having me on the show and totally in line with what sir just discussed. Yes, it's a positive move, but I would just like to remind that in last 4 months, market has is kind of stuck in less than 1,500 points range. So market is market always has followed a cycle of consolidation, which is always followed by a cycle of expansion. Right now, from last 3-4 months, market is probably consolidating. Market wants some trigger, is looking out for some triggers to expand. But as of now, I think today rally is probably because of combined factors of everything. FIIs were above 90% shorts in the market, which probably triggered above 25,000 point move, 25,000 Nifty move. Secondly, GST impact is obviously positive for the markets, which market is kind of waiting to celebrate or wanting to celebrate. Finally, no negative news from Trump, I would say, is a positive news. So that is also is helping the market move up. As such, market is still in range, and we have to understand till the time it breaks range, we should not be excited or anxious about any of the moves.
Right, that's interesting. No negative news from Donald Trump, you say, is positive for markets. G Chokkalingam, do you agree? And for all those saying, okay, as investors, what sectors should we be watching out for? What should we watch out for then in the near term? What would you say?
Yeah, before coming to sector, just I will take only 1 minute to explain that. Otherwise, apart from this trade, there is not major concern. Yes, the certain pockets of the market is highly valued, particularly Sensex and Nifty. But otherwise, in terms of monsoon performance, the Kharif area expected to be equivalent to last year's level, despite flood in some areas. And then the credit growth, CRISIL has, in forecast around 11 to 12% growth. Double-digit growth in banking credit is also big positive. Then a couple of days, even IFC has mentioned that they would develop investment in India. So there is a huge appetite in terms of the foreign capital investment in second market here, and also the domestic factors are very, very conducive. So therefore, the trade agreement is sealed. I see a robust recovery in the market, and the sector which will be benefit from this would be to start with the banking sector, as I mentioned, double-digit growth coming back, and then this automobile sector. More than these two broad sector, the individual small and mid-cap stocks will fire up because every week, even now, more than 6 lakh new investors are coming in, and it is largely dominated by the retail investors now rather than the foreign investors. So the small and mid-cap stocks, they would see once again a thematic bull run. So that is what I am expecting, in the short term.
Right, Anand, are you expecting the same? That look, the small and mid-cap stocks will see a big boost. Your first thoughts really on the sectors that everyone should be tracking and watching out for, given all the developments.
Firstly, whatever I am talking about here is purely for information and education purpose. Please consult your advisor before investing. For me, sectors to watch out or segments to watch out will be the large cap parts, because if we look at the valuations, small caps and mid caps, I personally feel they are trading one standard deviation away from their mean. So there is not that much comfort available at small cap and mid cap space. But at the same time, 70% of the large cap stocks are comparatively fairly valued as compared to last 10-year average. So probably for safer bets or so for safer investments, looking out at a large cap segment might give you a bit of less shock. Maybe for trading perspective, small caps will or might have a good move. But for investment perspective, at this valuation, I am slightly of a different opinion to look at flexi cap or multi cap funds for that matter.
Right. So, of course, consult your advisors. Look at what you feel is best given your portfolio, and look at this as just educational advice, like you both were saying. But of course, for now, we've seen markets clearly cheering the India-US trade talk developments really that we witnessed. Of course, a lot really is weighted in terms of what happens next, the fine print, and of course, the Fed decision also expected. But for now, we've seen this big boost really as far as markets are concerned, a rally for the Sensex and the Nifty in trade today. Thank you both for sharing your thoughts and for joining us with your initial thoughts.